In my beginnings, it was a great delight for me to consider my soul as a garden and to reflect that God was taking a walk in it. So writes Teresa of Ávila, a 16th century Spanish mystic and teacher of prayer. For Teresa, prayer is intimacy with the one who loves and lives in us. It is our most primal language, the source of our inner flowering. But sometimes it's hard to find that inner garden because we don't know how to pray. Teresa thinks God stands ready to help if we will but offer our consent. In each of us, Teresa writes, there is good seed waiting to flourish, and prayer is the process of watering that seed. At this first stage, Teresa likens prayer to hauling heavy buckets of water from a well and carrying them over again and again to pour onto our thirsty garden ground. It's slow, hot work, and the plants, like our prayers, may have little to show for all our efforts. My own struggle with prayer means I know what this feels like. Maybe you do too. But by trying to pray, Teresa assures, we are reaching out for help, and God eagerly responds. We may find that prayer starts becoming more spontaneous. Mysteriously, we feel ourselves drawing more water with less labor, as if we were suddenly given access to a water wheel. Here, all we need do is turn the crank and guide the water toward our garden. Teresa thinks of this as a second, more graced experience of prayer. It makes us freer, less self-conscious. Our inner seeds grow into buds, and we find ourselves on the verge of blossoming. The blossoming itself is Teresa's third experience of prayer. At a certain point, watering the garden may become so intuitive that it's as if we have a spring bubbling up within. Little effort is needed to direct the water at this point, because God does most of the work of meeting us. The flowers of love and courage within grow fragrant. Our fruit ripens, and we are fed by the divine gardener. Teresa thinks of this as mature prayer. But she says, there is a yet more perfect experience, a fourth and final stage of prayer. She calls it the prayer of union, which waters us like rain falling from above. Here, there is no labor at all. We simply receive the gift and flourish. We rest with God in the garden of the soul. I find this vision of intimacy hard to contemplate, much less hope for. And yet, through Teresa's invitation, I somehow do find the courage to hope, because I know that prayer does not depend on my goodness or cleverness, only on my consent. And so, today, let us begin this journey inward. Let us say yes to the divine gardener. Let us pray.